Hey folks, welcome to another video of Matro's Travel. I'm Matro and today from Cambodia, and to be exact from Angkor Wat. So the temple, I guess it's the really much I need to say. It's like the thing to see in Southeast Asia. It's like when you say India, it's the Taj Mahal. When you say Southeast Asia, everybody thinks of the Angkor Wat. So of course it's like the must see when you come to Southeast Asia or to Cambodia. So the temple itself, it was actually built in the 12th century, and it was a Hindu temple dedicated to the god Vishnu, but over the centuries it changed into a Buddhist temple, and I'm gonna explore it now. So I just walked down the ancient bridge here, and I already have this huge, beautiful entrance gate here, which we're gonna walk through right now. So we made it into the inner courtyard. I'm not really sure for what they're used to, but they're like sort of like, I would say, 4 pools but without water. So maybe they use them for ceremonies or something, but I'm not really sure. Quite interesting fact, it's really hot today, really hot, and the stones do not help. But when you're underneath here, it's actually quite cooling down. I'm very surprised by that. Like the stone is very cool and there's a bit of wind coming in. So it really was constructed in a way that if you're staying underneath the roofs, that it's actually quite cool. Also, did you know that Angkor Wat was actually not gray in the past, but it was painted in a lot of different colors. Unfortunately, over the centuries, most of the colors they fainted, but you can still see some of them. Like especially up here, you can see some of the red colors and partly even some blue. So you can kind of like see how it looked like in the past, which is really interesting. And I made it to the main area, yes. So here you already have the 3 big towers, the most famous ones, of course. And it's very hot here, but it looks really amazing. I'm not sure if I can go up there, but I'm gonna check. Also, there are some renovations going on, as I can see here. And at the same time, there's also a lot of wind coming through, which really does help, because it's like over 40 degrees Celsius right now. So I'm happy about that. Also, the little thing you need to know here, if you want to go inside here, you need to dress appropriately. So you need to wear like a t-shirt that you don't show your shoulders, and with long trousers, so to hide your knees, otherwise they will not let you in. So keep this in mind, please. I found a way up. It's very loud here, so many people here, but there's a staircase, so let's go. I made it to the inside, and anyway, it's really nice here. So you also have like, again, this area here, this pool-like area, which is probably like a courtyard or something, I assume. And you have such a beautiful view. Like here you can see, the forest and everything. Kind of reminds me on Sigiriya in Sri Lanka, which had this rainforest view. The video you can see up here, and it's just marvelous. The view is really incredible. So here on the west side, I think it is, you can also see the courtyard again with this huge garden area. Here we were standing before and came in. You can just see how massive this area here actually is, and so beautiful, all this green and the jungle behind. So picturesque. So I'm now in one of those, I call it empty swimming pools. If you know the actual name of them, please write them down in the comment, because I'm really curious about that. And let's check with the actual amount of towers. So there's one at each corner. There are 4 corners, so there are 4. And then there's one big tower here in the middle, so it's 5 towers in all. So now you know Angkor Wat has this 5 towers. So one on each corner and one in the middle here. And the one in the middle, you have here Buddha statues on each side. So there are 4 Buddha statues basically in each direction, like north, south, east and west. So also like a little fact for you to know here. So while going down again, I found here this area with this beautiful wall which has a lot of stone carvings in it. The stone carvings picture the final battle mentioned in the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata, it's like one of the holy books of Hinduism. You might know the Bhagavad Gita probably, it's part of it. And here this wall is like 45 meters long and it shows the final battle that they fight in the book there. I haven't read it yet, so I can't say much about it, but it's still interesting to see it here. So if you're into history, religion and so on, this is definitely a must see, this wall here. It's like basically in front of it, like you have the garden here and here's the wall. So it's basically on the front of the main temple area when you face it on the right side. So, and that's it for the video. I hope, no wait, something is wrong because apparently the area is 162 hectare wide. So this is at 162 hectare. So the thing apparently is, Angkor Wat is just a very small part of the huge area that is full of temples. Many tourists don't even know about it, but I'm gonna show it to you right now. Next up is the Bayon Temple, which looks also very big. Here's already the southern gate. So let's go and check it out. So the Bayon Temple was built a little bit after Angkor Wat, if I read it right. And interestingly, a bit confusing, it was first a Buddhist temple, which got converted into a Hindu temple later on. So the opposite would happen to Angkor Wat, which doesn't make sense to me. It's something, I guess it's good to look up in Wikipedia or so on. Also, the temple is very famous for the faces it has on the towers, walls and everything. So there are like these giant faces and there are over 200 of them in the whole temple area. 200, more than 200. And apparently it's not 100% sure who the face represents. It's not Buddha, but they think it might have been the king at the time who ordered to build the temple. That's a nice little side fact to know. Also, the temple is heavily destroyed. So you can still see a lot of it, but you can also see, like, especially behind me, the west part, it's like just a puzzle of bricks that are like lying around everywhere. The restoration is ongoing still, and it will take a long time until they restore it as good as possible. But still, it's quite an interesting temple to see, even though a lot of it is destroyed. Another interesting fact here is that the Buddha statues or the carvings, they have been removed. So you can see here, it clearly looks like there was a Buddha statue or like a Buddha carving in here. And you can see that it has been chiseled away. So kind of like another indication it has been transferred from Buddhism to Hinduism. Another noteworthy thing to see, north of the Bayon Temple, very close by, is the Terrasse of the Leopard King. So I'm inside of here, and it's very special because of the carvings. Like here, they're full of those carvings, and they're so beautifully made. It's really, really impressive, I must say. So it's a short walk to the north. It doesn't take a lot of time, but you have really intricate, beautiful carvings here, which is really one of the must-see when you go to Bayon Temple. And right beside of it is the Terrasse of the Elephants, which is partly under construction, so you can't visit it all, but you can see a part. And it has the name because of the elephant carvings and statues here on the terrace, like the 3 behind me here. So it's also like a nice place to see. Next up is the Ta Keo Temple. You reach it by going from the Bayon Temple to the east, basically, to pass through the Victory Gate, and after that there's this temple here, so let's check it out. Okay, so this temple is dedicated to the god Shiva, but over the time it has been converted to a Buddhist temple, which is pretty much visible here at top on the largest tower with the Buddha statue in it. Also, like most of the temples here, it has 5 different towers, so one on each corner and the one in the middle. And it's really a massive building here. It has kind of like a little bit of a step pyramid shape, but the building itself is more rectangular build. And also it was built out of sandstone, which isn't really the best material to use if you want something to last for long. So they have to do a lot of restoration here. You can still see that the restoration is ongoing, because most of the buildings, they don't have rooftops anymore and so on. So it has lost a lot of its pride, unfortunately, but they're trying to rebuild it and reconstruct it as much as possible. Another thing I really like about this temple are like these massive walls here. Like walking beside them, they give up like a feeling of like power, strength. It's really impressive to look at them, to see them. It kind of like really makes the temple powerful and unique in its own way. Like I haven't seen this in other temples here in this area yet. So it kind of makes the temple stand out in a way. Also, even though the temple has been transformed to a Buddhist temple, there's still a statue left of a cow, or I think a bull, just like one of the animals of Shiva. So there's still something left of him actually in this way. One temple I really can't wait to see is Ta Prohm. Here you can already see the walls. The temple is famous for kind of like overgrown by nature itself. So let's go and check it out. So we are at the temple now, and this temple went through a massive restoration progress. So for example, this entry gate, it was kind of like falling into each other, and with the restoration it's all straight again. So you can really see the difference here. And let's go in. Even though they reconstructed parts of it, just looking at here, you can see there's still a lot they have to do. So it's gonna take time. I'm not even sure if they're gonna restore it or not, but if so, it might take a few years. Yeah. And also you can already see the trees that kind of like overgrow the temple, which is really cool to look at here. And it gives the temple its unique charm. Like, of course, it's not the best thing for preservation if nature takes over, but really from the looks of it and everything, it's something really special to see that actually like trees growing into a temple. It's really something. You can also go inside this massive structure. There are some entryways here, which like for example this one here. And the cool thing is, if you go through here and even like looking at the ground, you can see like the roots from the trees coming in here and everything. So you can really see how the nature is more and more taking over the temple. But people actually try to restore the temple here. So it's like kind of like a game between nature and humans, you can say, in this way. And really it's quite fascinating, the temple here as well. For example, you have the walls here and there's still some of the red color of the temple left, which is very surprising to me in this way. So here again, look at this massive tree here taking over the walls of the temple. This is so impressive to see and fascinating in the same way. Just look at that, especially like how big this tree is and everything. Wow. What's also really impressive here are the stone carvings. They're so beautiful. Like, just look at this here, for example, and you have them all over the place and they're so well preserved here. It's really, really impressive. also very interesting and cool to see is like this route here. So there was a rooftop in the past which is completely destroyed now, and the roof was on top of it. And well, since the roof is destroyed, the roof is kind of like in the air right now, but it has the shape of the roof it was on. So right now I'm in one of the main areas of the Buddha statue, which is right behind me. And it's a huge hall, and you might think it's nothing too special, but I just saw that this hall didn't exist at all. In the past, it was a huge, really huge mountain of rubble. The walls weren't there, the roof was completely destroyed, just some of the pillars were still standing, otherwise it was just a mountain of rubble. And they took this mountain of rubble and rebuilt the whole hall to what it is now. Now this is like a really impressive reconstruction, I must say. It's so impressive. I can't believe it that this was all just rubble. Wow. So for tickets, there is no ticket counter here, nothing. You have to buy them online. So for that, the website where to buy the tickets is in the description below. Otherwise, just put in Google like tickets Angkor Wat and it will come up. It's like the official website there. So don't worry about that. They have 1 day pass, 3 day pass, and I think the last one is a 7 day pass, I think, or 5 day pass. I would suggest 3 days. So like 1 day to see like the 2 main temples, the next day to like the whole small circle, and the last day to do the grand circle. Should be enough in this way. If you come in the summertime, it can get over 40 degrees here. Like you can see, I'm sweating like crazy. So bring enough water with you. Like I have 3 liters of water with me basically. But also you don't need to worry too much about it, because every temple here has at least 1 toilet, 1 stand with drinks, 1 stand with food, and a parking lot. So there's nothing to worry about it. The best way to get here, I would say you can take a tour. You can also go around with a tuk-tuk, but I would suggest rent a scooter, drive around with the scooter here. Then you can do it in your own time and you just pay once. You don't need to pay for the tuk-tuk all the time. It's much easier and simpler. The roads are fine to drive on, so don't worry about that. And I'm back in my hotel room. So my camera just gave up on me, so the video just cut. But anyway, so what I wanted to say, if you like bicycling, there are a lot of bicycle roads in the whole area. So keep in mind it's around 40 kilometers for like the biggest area. So keep that in mind if you want to go bicycling, but if you're a fan of it, you can definitely do it. Okay folks, I have to split the video. It's too much to see here, too much for one video. I think if I'm gonna record it all, it's gonna be like 1 hour or something. So let's do the split. So this is part 1. I really hope you enjoyed it. If so, hit the like button down below. Remember to subscribe and see you in part 2. Bye.